Tiger Woods just dropped a bombshell nobody saw coming. Forget the comeback rumors, forget the injury updates. Woods has quietly built something worth over $100 million, and the man standing right next to him isn't a golfer at all. It's a baseball legend. A 3-time MVP. And together, they've created one of the most exclusive, most secretive places in all of American sports. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why almost nobody on Earth will ever be allowed to set foot on this property. Here's the strange part. This project has been in the works for years, quietly, carefully, away from cameras, and even now that it's finally been revealed, there's still a piece of the story most people don't know. A number. A very specific number that explains exactly who gets in, and who never will. We'll get to that. But first, let's rewind to where this all began. Tiger Woods and Mike Trout come from two completely different worlds. One built his legend on major championships and red Sunday shirts. The other built his on home runs and a batting stance so smooth that scouts compared him to the greats before he'd even turned 20. On paper, golf and baseball don't have much reason to collide. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. Mike Trout has always been obsessed with golf, not as a hobby, but almost as a second craft. People close to him say that if something goes wrong during a round, he doesn't shrug it off. He heads straight to the range afterward to fix it, the same way he'd study film after a bad night at the plate. That obsessive, perfectionist streak is exactly what made Trout different from other athletes who dabble in golf on their days off. For Trout, it was never a hobby. It was a discipline. And that discipline eventually pulled him towards something much bigger than playing the game. It pulled him toward building it. Years ago, Trout made an investment that quietly connected him to Tiger Woods' business world. He put money into TMRW Sports, the sports and entertainment company Woods co-founded with Rory McIlroy. Trout wasn't alone. Golf lovers like Steph Curry and Shohei Ohtani had also bought in, but Trout's involvement went deeper than most. It gave him a front-row seat into how Woods thought about the game, how he approached design, how he saw golf not just as competition, but as architecture. As art. That relationship planted a seed. And that seed eventually grew into something extraordinary. Mike Trout didn't grow up in Beverly Hills or Manhattan. He grew up in Vineland, New Jersey, a working-class town in South Jersey, far from the spotlight of Major League Baseball. It's the kind of place most superstars leave behind and never look back on. Trout did the opposite. He looked back on it, and decided to build something there that the entire sports world would eventually have to notice. Together with developer John Ruga, Trout found something unusual, a stretch of former quarry land near his hometown. Not the kind of postcard-perfect landscape you'd expect for a championship golf course. Rough. Industrial. Overlooked. But that was exactly the kind of challenge that excited Tiger Woods. Woods, through his golf course design firm TGR Design, was brought in to turn that unlikely plot of land into something extraordinary. And what makes this story almost cinematic is the transformation, a forgotten quarry reborn as an 18-hole championship golf course. The name they gave it tells you everything about how personal this project was. They called it Trout National, the reserve. This wasn't a quick weekend project. This was months, years, really, of design work, land engineering, and quiet construction, all happening away from headlines. And when the course finally opened its doors in the spring, the numbers behind it were staggering. The championship course stretches an incredible 7,519 yards, a par 72 layout long enough to challenge even the best players on the planet. But here's what makes it different from most brutal championship courses. It uses expansive ribbon tees, meaning the course can stretch out to test elite professionals, or shrink down to stay playable for members who just want to enjoy a round with friends. It's designed to punish the pros and welcome everyone else, all on the same fairways. The total cost of the project has been reported at well over $100 million, making it, by some accounts, the largest development South Jersey has seen in years. And this is where the story gets almost unbelievable. Remember that number I mentioned earlier? Here it is. Trout National isn't open to the public. It's not open to wealthy tourists. It's not open to anyone who simply has the money and wants in. Membership at this club is capped, permanently, at exactly 227 members. Why 227? Because that's Mike Trout's jersey number. Number 27, with a 2 in front of it, an intentional, personal nod baked directly into the DNA of the club itself. This isn't just a golf course. It's a tribute, frozen in a number that will never change. And getting one of those 227 spots isn't as simple as writing a check. Membership is by invitation only. Reports have placed the initiation cost somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000, and that's just to get through the door. For the average golf fan, even one with serious money, this isn't a place you can buy your way into. This is a place you have to be chosen for. Which raises an obvious question: who exactly is getting invited? Based on everything that's been reported, the membership list is expected to include elite athletes, team owners, and touring professionals, the kind of people who move in Trout's and Wood's actual social orbit. Think fellow MLB stars. Think people from the world of professional golf. Think the kind of names who could casually show up for a Tuesday afternoon round and it wouldn't even make headlines, because at Trout National, that's just Tuesday. It's not hard to imagine Woods himself walking those fairways whenever he wants. It's not hard to imagine some of Trout's closest teammates eventually getting the call. There's even been speculation that Angels ownership could end up with access, as a quiet thank you for everything that's been built around Trout's career in Los Angeles. Based on everything that's been reported, the membership list is expected to include elite athletes, team owners, and touring professionals, the kind of people who move in Trout's and Wood's actual social orbit. Think fellow MLB stars. Think people from the world of professional golf. Think the kind of names who could casually show up for a Tuesday afternoon round and it wouldn't even make headlines, because at Trout National, that's just Tuesday. It's not hard to imagine Woods himself walking those fairways whenever he wants. It's not hard to imagine some of Trout's closest teammates eventually getting the call. There's even been speculation that Angels ownership could end up with access, as a quiet thank you for everything that's been built around Trout's career in Los Angeles. But for the millions of golf fans who would give almost anything to walk just 9 holes on a Tiger Woods-designed course, the reality is blunt. Unless you're one of the 227, you're not getting in. Not for a wedding. Not for a corporate outing. Not for any amount of money on a random Tuesday. This is arguably one of the most exclusive private clubs built in the sport in years. For a long time, this entire project stayed remarkably quiet. The kind of quiet that only happens when the people involved genuinely don't want the attention yet. That changed when Tiger Woods finally posted about it himself. Woods shared a sweeping aerial flyover video of the completed course on social media, and the caption he chose said more than any press release could have. He wrote, simply, that it had been incredibly rewarding to work alongside Mike Trout, John Ruga, and the entire Trout National team, together with his own TGR design team, to bring their shared vision for the property to life. And then Mike Trout responded, publicly and personally. He thanked Woods directly, calling it quite a ride, and saying he couldn't have asked for a better partner to help bring the project to reality. 2 of the most dominant athletes of their respective generations, publicly thanking each other for building something together that has nothing to do with a batting average or a green jacket. Something permanent. Something that will exist long after both of their playing careers are a memory. It's easy to scroll past a headline like this and think, rich athlete builds golf course, cool, next video. But if you actually sit with what's happening here, it's bigger than that. For Tiger Woods, this course adds to a growing legacy of course design work at a moment when his own playing career has been defined more by recovery and comebacks than by trophies. Every hole he designs is proof that his influence on the game isn't slowing down, it's just changing shape. He's not just playing golf anymore. He's building the future of where golf gets played. For Mike Trout, this is something even more personal. This is a guy who has spent over a decade as arguably the most talented player in baseball, often playing for teams that didn't make the playoffs, often watching October unfold on television instead of on the field. And through all of that, he quietly built something entirely his own, rooted in the town where he grew up, designed by one of the greatest athletes who ever lived, and named in tribute to the number he's worn his entire career. It's a monument. Built while he's still playing. Which almost never happens. This didn't happen in isolation either. Around the same time as this announcement, Woods and Rory McIlroy's company, Team RW Sports, revealed another major deal: Fenway Sports Group acquiring an ownership stake in a new women's team golf league connected to the LPGA. Tiger Woods, even while managing his own health and playing career, is clearly building something much bigger than himself in this sport. Trout National isn't just a standalone story. It's one piece of a much larger picture of Woods reshaping what golf's business world even looks like. And for Trout, this project cements something too: proof that his ambition off the diamond might end up shaping his legacy just as much as anything he's ever done on it.so. Here's a project years in the making, built on forgotten quarry land near a small New Jersey town, shaped by one of the greatest golfers of all time, funded to the tune of over $100 million. And locked behind a gate that only 227 people on this entire planet will ever get to walk through. If a story like this is the kind of behind-the-scenes sports content you actually want more of, the stuff that goes past the highlight reel and into the real decisions athletes are making with their money, their time, and their legacy, then make sure you're subscribed, because this channel is just getting started, and there's a lot more of these stories coming. Let me know in the comments, if you had the money, would you want in on something this exclusive, or does a golf course this closed off take something away from the game? I'll see you in the next one.